New York City, we back. The Big Apple, NY. The Knicks are back. Staten Mellow. This dedicated to my city, New York. Official kings in the court. Reach for the ball, a hard lesson gets taught. So bring your skills to the nearest playground. No clown around. Catch a helmet in the minute on a New York playground. The Big Apple's what they call it for short. And basketball is our sport. We play for keeps and never settle for sure. So bring your game when you come to my town. We snatch and crowd. You get embarrassed on the court after you shook to the ground. You get respected when you prove you get down. So say the joke for the clowns. And NYC, we known to go a few rounds. This is a city where you're forced to go hard. You'll get booed out of Dodge and shown the door being the weakest on squads. Rucker Park and summer nights, they stay live. Brothers play for the pride and bragging rights on who's the king of NY. So grab the pill and prepare to go hard. Pick your 12-man squad. Orange and blue better believe we go hard. This for my city, New York City where it's gritty. Yeah. For my city, never pretty. New York City, sing it with me. Yeah. For my city, New York City where it's gritty. NYC, for my city, never pretty. Yeah. New York City, sing it with me. New York City, sing it with me. Bars and Hoops Radio, Knicks Talk Nation Radio, back to live action. Shout out to the special guests we got in the building today. We got Brooklyn in the house tonight, man. We got, we got the Toppins in the building tonight. We got Frank Dreddy in the building tonight. We got my brother Hard Will in the building tonight. Fellas, what's going on, family? How's everybody doing today?
Everybody good.
Everybody good?
Can't complain.
All right. Well, how about you, Unc? You got to unmute that mic, baby. You got to unmute the mic. We can't be having no technical difficulties early. Let's go. He said he was a Knicks fan since the 60s. Let's get it.
I'm an OG.
Okay, triple OG. Word up, man. So, fellas, man, first and foremost, man, thank you for checking in tonight, man. Chopping it up with us, man. We're going to talk some good old Knicks talk stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? And this is a disclaimer to everybody out there watching. You know what I mean? We do not discriminate up here. We do not wear orange and blue glasses. We tell it like it is, and that's what it is, because we all Knicks fans. And at the end of the day, it's Knicks all day, and we are diehard fans, man. So before we get into it, man, fellas, man, I want to ask y'all, man, how was y'all weekend, man? Word, man. Hard Will, we going to start with you, bro. How was your weekend, man?
Oh, my weekend was cool. Can't complain, normal working, basically. Excited to do the show tonight, How about yours?
Man, listen, man, I can't complain, man. I had a great weekend. I ain't going to lie. I'm a little tired. You know what I mean? All them basketball games we had on Saturday and Sunday for the Bars and Hoops Round Ball Classic, man. We had some tremendous games yesterday, man. I can't lie. I'm really impressed with the competition that we got out there today, man. We got some of the top high school programs involved this year. Shout out to Christ the King, man. The Queens Defenders. You know what I mean? They definitely got a nice little team, man. It would have been nice if Carmelo's son was playing with them in the tournament, but he has so many other tournaments he couldn't play with the rest of his team headed into this season. You know what I'm saying? But the tournament has been nice. The 15U division has been tremendous, and we had a couple of great games where kids are showing like they got the right stuff. You know what I mean? So I enjoyed my weekend. It was real tiring, but hey, man, it's worth it, man, when it comes to these kids. You know what I mean? For real. Unc, how was your weekend, Unc?
Maxing and relaxing and not being taxed.
And he got bars. That's what I'm talking about. Man. So for everybody that's checking us out, man, you can always check us out every day, man, at barsandhoops.com. You can always pull up, see the latest news, hear the latest shows that we got on air via podcast, live radio station shows. We got it all there. So whenever you get a chance, check in with us with www.barsandhoops.com. But let's get into the meat and potatoes of what today's show is about, man. We talking about the Knicks, man, and there's been a lot of headlines out there as of late. One of the latest things that was reported is that, Team USA, put their team together, and a lot of NBA stars are actually joining with a little bit of controversy behind it. You got a couple of Nets players playing. I think James Harden withdrew his name, but KD is going. And Julius Randle, man, as good as the season that he had for the Knicks, he was snubbed by Team USA, man. So before we get into the story, you know, gentlemen, what do y'all think about that? Did he deserve to go with the group of players that's going to Tokyo this year, or not? And are you upset behind that? Oh well.
Go ahead, Unc. Go ahead, Unc. Let Unc go first.
Yeah, let's go. What's up, Unc? You said you're a Knicks fan since the '60s, man. So let's talk about it. First of all, what's your thoughts on Randle?
He disappointed me in the playoffs.
Yes, he did. He let us all down in the playoffs.
I thought he was gonna come through, but be that as it may. So you saying they snubbed him?
Yeah, they snubbed him for the roster on Team USA. So let me tell you the players that did make it over him, just so we could get a little bit more juicy in this conversation. Jeremy Grant from the Detroit Pistons made it over him. Kevin Love from the Cleveland Cavaliers made it over him. What? And Draymond Green of the Golden State Warriors was selected before Julius Randle. What's your thoughts on that now?
No, he should have been a selection.
It sound like like they selecting people who have had previous good careers. You know, Julius Randle, this is his come out year. That's why they gave him most improved player.
Nah, man.
I mean, it's just what it sound like. I didn't say I picked him. I would have given him a shot. It just sounds like the players you name are, you know, I could say they better than Julius because they've been playing better than him previously. Are they better than him right now? I don't know. Kevin Love, I don't know. Draymond Green, you know, he has a name. You got to think about like what I said. You know, this is his most improved year. So those guys are already, even though he could have played with this group this year, I think he deserved it. That's my opinion on it. I think he deserved it. But by the guys you name, sound like guys who already had that bigger names than him because this is his first year of really being solidified as a good player, a real good player, as an all-star, first NBA All-Team, first time ever doing that, you know?
Yeah. And shout out to my brother Michael Ray in the building. We see you on Facebook. Shout out to everybody checking us out on Facebook Live. So I'm going to give you guys the reasoning on why Jerry Colangelo left him off the team. So they're saying it's political. Randall's decision to back out of playing for Team USA in the World Cup in 2019 was likely the reason why it cost them this year. You know, Team USA shockingly didn't win the medal in that game, and Randall stayed home basically because he wanted to prepare for his first season with the Knicks. So they kind of held that against him. So it was politics because there's no way you could tell me Jeremy Grant or Kevin Love or even Draymond Green deserve the trip to Tokyo over Julius Randle. I don't care about any of that other stuff. If we talk about basketball-wise, he should be there for sure. You know what I mean? For real.
He should have made some shots in the playoffs too.
See, this is why we Knicks fans. He should have made some shots in the playoffs. It exposed a lot about his game.
Maybe that's why he didn't make it.
Nah, that's not it, man.
I'm just saying, you said what you said, but it's always two sides to the coin. He didn't make no shots in the playoffs. Even your uncle said it when he first said, he disappointed me in the playoffs. That's because he never been on that stage. Everybody you named been on that stage before, right or wrong.
Jeremy Grant?
Well, no, not him, but he's been on teams and he's good. I think he's good. He came up. He's just a slept-on player, but every team he go on, he does good. I'll take him on the Knicks.
Hell no, you crazy. We don't need
him.
I would. This nigga said he'll take
I would. He makes shots, and he played deep.
The Knicks need right now is a guard and the center.
And
score.
Yes.
That's what they need.
And a center.
Is. See, if I was their coach,
center?
I'll coach better than Thibodeau.
Oh man, OG.
Let's go. He talking that stuff.
Yo, he said he coached better than Tibbs. Tibbs is the coach of the year. You do know that, right, Mr. Bay?
I know that.
Oh, that's a powerful statement, man. You almost broke the internet with that one.
I see some mistakes he made that I was watching. When you just see the mistakes people make by watching what they're doing.
Yes.
From the
it's easy to do that,
and
though.
I see what he was doing.
Yeah.
I was like, why would you do that? He was taking my nephew out too early all the time. Obi.
Ooh, there we go.
Oh, you think Obi is your nephew? Okay.
We dropping bombs today.
Now, one thing I want to say about that is,
right here.
Stills did say that
Obi.
Obi should have got more minutes. We had that on another show when Randall wasn't playing that good, and I felt like he kept shooting the ball but he kept getting put in the game. Tibbs put him back in the game, so that's not his fault to keep shooting.
It was politics. It was politics behind it, and I keep saying it. And a lot of people
they had my nephew playing like he was a guard, standing on the 3-point line. Come on, man.
Yes.
You got him taking threes like this. That is not his game like that.
But in all fairness, he did step his game up. No. Listen, he did step his game up in the playoffs, and this is the reason why I said he deserved more minutes during the playoffs. Why? Because his game is more versatile than Julius Randle. Even though Julius Randle is a prolific scorer, he was only going left, and he didn't know what to do when they adjusted to him. Obi didn't need the ball to score and be effective. That's why he always played his best with Derrick Rose. That's why I said that move from putting Derrick Rose in the starting lineup killed the Knicks bench. You know what I mean? I don't know if you want to add on to that.
No, but if you notice in the playoffs, Trae Young was doing the same thing. Going left and throwing that lob to kick up. That's what was killing the Knicks. And they couldn't stop it.
But what I wanted to say, Stills, what I wanted to say about that was, right, I got to give Obi credit because you got to be able to hit that shot to make the defense come out. And then he could go by and he could take off and do his thing. You know what I mean? So he was hitting the shot. You got to give him credit for that. The game has changed now. So remember before they was doing the alley-oop play, the pick and roll, Peyton was doing it with Robinson and Noel. So the middle's already crowded. So I think top and roll in the corner was good because he was making the shot. Yes. Like I said before, it was about them trying to turn Randall on, and they tried too much when that's Thibodeau's mistake. But you can't really knock him for that because that's what got us there. And he had a major drop-off in the playoffs. It was unexpected. You expect him to probably get it going eventually, right, against the Hawks. He never did. Think about this, too, before I pass. He averaged 30-something points against the Hawks in the regular season.
Yes, he did.
So you can't really knock Tibbs for trying him. But back to the Obi point, Obi played great hitting them shots out the corner. It's a new type of way basketball is played. You got to have a jump shot, which he's showing that. That's great. So when the defense come out, he could get in his bag. Once he get near the rim, he going to take off. So you need that. And that's good. He went through that. I think that's why he should stay a Knick because he can hit that shot. Spread the floor. Hit the shot if he open.
No question. And shout out to Good Time Slim in the building. You know what I mean? Shout out to Slim. What's good, fam? Word. What's your thoughts? What's going on? Ain't nothing. We sitting here talking about Julius Randle getting snubbed, man. We talking about the playoff. We talking about some of the adjustments that Tibbs didn't make. You know what I mean? Unc took the gloves off early. He said he would have outcoached. He said he would have did a better job than Tibbs had he had that squad.
They couldn't stop Trae Young going to the left, going to the hoop. And Clyde Frazier was telling him, stop him from going to the right.
But why they couldn't stop him? Because he could hit that jumper from deep. They had to guard him at the logo.
All right.
Go ahead, Slim.
Can I say? It's true. Trae was doing whatever. Trae was doing whatever he wanted to do, but the game is officiated so different now. It's not like I wanted them to knock Trae on his a couple of times.
Yeah.
But you can't do that. Yeah. Right? A hard foul nowadays is a flagrant one. You might lose a play off a hard foul.
That's a fact.
But you know what I noticed? He wouldn't have done that if Mitchell Robinson was there.
I don't know, man. I'm not sold on
because Robinson would have been blocking.
I agree.
He wouldn't have been coming with that. But also, I don't think so.
I said that too.
I'm not sold
Robinson is a pogo stick. But Robinson is susceptible to all that alleys, the Capella. Robinson would have fell for that, going for them, trying to block that finger roll or trying to block the push shot from Trey, he leaving the alley wide open. So Robinson may have made a difference. It may not have been a good difference though.
Oh,
that's a fact. That's a fact. He's foul prone. He's foul prone, man. He would have probably fouled out half of the games in the playoffs.
He was figuring it out. But he got hurt. And I can't knock what Taj did. I can't knock what Noel did. They held it down as much as they could. But we all knew going into the playoffs, they were limited. Taj is not guard nobody on the 3-point line. Yes. And Noel can block a shot that's coming to him. Noel ain't chasing no block.
That's a fact.
So we knew those weaknesses was there already. That's where Tibbs should have jumped in and put that coaching hat on.
Yes.
And make some adjustments.
Now, even the only thing I have a problem is saying what I was saying.
I agree with you. I came in late. I hope I'm not repeating nothing. I came in late
so
on my
good.
tardiness.
No, because I was saying the same thing.
I will say this. I will say this. I have one critique of Thibodeau, and that one critique is a few of those reservations we had about him as a coach, they showed in the playoffs. The regular season, we was good. His stubbornness paid off, but in the playoffs, yes, he showed exactly what people said his weakness is. Yes. He does not make adjustments. He's stubborn to a fault.
Yeah. Right.
I appreciate the loyalty. Exactly. I appreciate knowing what you're doing and standing on your two as a coach. Yo, you got outcoached. Nate McMillan outcoached you, bro.
Yeah, Nate McMillan outcoached him.
Nate McMillan got more pieces, though.
Let's give Nate his props. Let's give Nate his props. Let's give Nate his props.
I give it to him. I give it to him. He's still in it. He's still in there. He's still in the playoffs.
And you got to look at the fact that they beat Philly too, so it wasn't a fluke.
No, Philly's a bunch of phony.
Bro, Philly beat themselves, man.
He's a phony.
Ben Simmons couldn't even make his free throws. You can't really give them credit for that. The Knicks, if the Knicks would have beat them, the Knicks would have did the same thing.
No free throws. We don't need them. Don't even pursue them. The only person I pursue at this time is Damian Lillard.
And now let's get into that. I'm glad Unc brought that up, right? So
they're gonna have to give up a lot for Damian Lillard.
Oh man, here we go, man.
They might have to throw in Toppin.
I don't want to do that.
They may have to throw in Toppin. What you think about that,
We did that with Melo.
No,
I don't want to do that for Dame. We did that with Melo. We gave up the whole team for Melo. The whole damn team plus picks for Melo.
Isn't he a free agent?
And we were stuck with.
But isn't he a free agent?
Dame?
Yeah.
After next season.
Yes.
So that's the same situation.
So but
it's different. It's a little different.
I would take Dame. I would give up whatever for Dame.
I think Dame
not gonna come here if we give up everything.
Dame Lillard is box
office. He wants to leave Portland anyway, but we're not winning nothing.
All right, okay, all right.
So he want to go to Utah anyway.
Put it down. All right, so here we go, man. Now the Knicks need a point guard. Right. They need a point guard badly. I'm not depending on no college rookie to come in and save the Knicks right now. They need to get somebody that's established that can handle the pressure in New York. And I don't think nobody coming to the NBA from college can do it. Now, if you say Lonzo Ball, I don't know. Well, Lonzo Ball comes other things.
I don't think so.
I like Lonzo.
We don't need baggage.
I seen today.
We don't need baggage in New York, though.
I seen today that we got a match. The Pelicans is putting up the money, so I think it's $19 million. I'm not sure the exact amount, but it's something like that for Lonzo, and we would have to match that.
Okay.
I wouldn't pursue him.
You want to pursue him?
Nope.
Okay.
I would.
Okay. So now we eliminate Lonzo from free agent. But no. I'm just saying he said he wouldn't pursue him. Why is that?
I would.
Why?
Why?
I would pursue him.
You would?
Yes. Let me tell you why. I would pursue him because we need help, but we don't need too much talent to take away from our team chemistry. See, either it's going to be star power or a good team. You see? And we can't match up with star power across the bridge. Think about it. You got to be realistic. Brooklyn Nets got at least another year run or two if they can't afford to pay for them after next year. But they're going to make it for next year at least. So you got to be realistic. We cannot match up with that without adding some star power.
That's a good point.
You got to be realistic.
That's a good point.
All right. So we trying to go somewhere. What we doing here? You know what I mean? And we came close, and the East is wide open now, if you ask me, because Milwaukee ain't Middleton and Giannis can't even create his own shot. Well, this shit is wide open. And I think Brooklyn is old and hurt. So if we make the right move, we could be running this thing. That's
so what is the right move? So if y'all don't want to trade, because I'm hearing two things. I'm hearing some of y'all say we gonna give up too much for Dame Lillard.
My bad.
Nobody wants Lonzo Ball.
But my point was why I was going to take Lonzo. That's what I was going to tell Unc. Why would I take Lonzo? I did say one thing, that he's not too much talent. He did improve. He plays defense, and his jump shot got better. And we need a point guard. He's a pass-first point guard. So he's way better than Peyton. Yep. And if we bring in too much of a star, that changes our chemistry. That was my point on the Lonzo take, because Lonzo, I always said that still.
So what about homeboy from Dallas, Jalen Brunson?
I seen that.
They loving him.
He's okay, but he's not. He's not.
But he's one of those Alec Burke type of, you sign him and they like, what's this? And then you see him busting ass all year, pardon my language. Yeah. So he's one of those. Because I
don't think we need a backup though.
Let him finish. Guys.
Be a backup, right?
He'll be a starter. Right now, because he behind home. You know, he behind.
Yeah, he behind. Look,
they would sign him. They would sign him as a starter. And they got. I forgot one of the coaches. They got a connection. It got to be one of these Kentucky connections. They got a connection with him too.
Yeah. Nah, he played on Villanova.
No, they got a New York connection through his dad, of Rick Brunson, who used to play for the Knicks.
It's some kind of connection.
Yes, Rick Brunson.
Oh, there you go.
Rick Brunson. Yeah, Rick Brunson used to play for the Knicks.
That's his son.
Yep.
That's his son. Yeah.
The problem
He's not better than Lonzo Ball.
Yeah. The problem.
Not yet. He might be though.
Nah.
He might be. Not yet though. Right now.
He should be. If he was gonna be, he would be closer. I think, Slim. They around the same age, like 1 year difference from coming in the league. And that's not a big difference. If you play ball, you know that 1 year difference ain't nothing. Dudes play 2-3 years up. So Brunson ain't gonna catch ball. I'm not gonna sleep him too much because he is decent. And he do hit that shot. He plays very hard.
Say it again, Slim.
He suffered from the same thing that Obi suffered from. He played behind Doncic. He ain't getting no run like he could.
Yeah.
And that's like what I'm saying. I'm not saying he's a better option. I was just throwing it out there on some. If we trying to get a stopgap, because honestly, I want IQ to grow into that role.
Wow.
If we looking for a stopgap until our homegrown talent comes of age, then that's an option. Lonzo's a good option for that too.
Yeah. Shout out to the Facebook.
But I want IQ. I want IQ to do that. I want IQ to be our starting point, throwing the alley to Obi for the next 10 years.
Word up. Somebody says Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is on the radar.
I mean, that would be us like kind of waiting, I guess, for us to get better more or less before because they're gonna have to give up a lot of that stuff to get better talent, I think. Right. And that's the problem we have, and that's the dilemma.
And shout out to Dave, man.
Are we doing a quick fix?
They're gonna put it like this, Slim. They're gonna want what you like, Slim. Right or wrong? If we get a star, they're gonna want anything that we like. Do you agree with that?
Right. That's a fact.
Other teams are gonna like the same thing we like, and if we're gonna get something decent, they're gonna want to take our pieces that shows potential.
Right.
So that's the gamble, like you said before. We don't want to do the same thing. What you said, Stills?
No,
you made a good point. My fault.
No. I was gonna say that somebody pointed out the fact that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is on the radar as well from OKC. What y'all think about his game?
Is he? He's good. Is he a free agent?
I believe he is. Like after next season, and the only thing with him is he's coming fresh off an injury.
So. See, can we get a young player, no injuries, that's just ready? I don't want. If we got cap space, we got draft picks, we got a good situation. Can we, like the Knicks always do that? We always grabbing a star with something like
and go against our draft picks. Yeah,
perfect.
Yeah, that's true.
Dame. That's why Dame would be perfect.
And that's what I.
Shea would be a good pick though. I'm just saying. Shea that would be a good shot.
Yeah. But I ain't gonna lie, man. My mind is kind of set on Dame Lillard, man. The reason why is because we haven't had a point guard since Stephon Marbury, man. Let's keep it a buck, man. A stud point guard, at least in his prime, since Stephon Marbury. The Knicks deserve to have a point guard.
Shout out to Starbury, yo.
Yeah, man, for real. He got a raw deal in New York, and they got to do what they got to do to get rid of to get Dame Lillard. I'm not saying give away your whole young core, but the thing that we have going for us is those draft picks. People keep saying, "Oh, I don't want to give away multiple draft picks," but we got 2 of Dallas's picks that we could give to them, and we still own all of our picks moving forward. So we give up 3 picks, give up some young talent. I'm not saying the only players that I look at on this roster as untouchable is IQ, Obi, and RJ. Those are the only players on this roster that I would look at as untouchable. Don't get me wrong. I like Julius Randle, but I don't think it's a long-term answer for the Knicks. I don't. And I'm not biased. Huh?
Do you think the team is going to think the same way as far as what you just said is about untouchable?
Do I think that they do?
Do you think the organization, as far as when they make moves, the players that you named is untouchable, deemed untouchable?
Nah, I don't think so. They're going to do what they feel is in their best interest. That's why they get paid the big bucks. But
that's
for me,
I said.
At the outside in, I'm looking at it as I'm gonna go with the young talent that doesn't cost me much. You know what I mean? Then reeing up on somebody that showed me that they really can't adjust their game in the playoffs. I don't want to hear this was my first time and all that, because it was Trae Young's first time. And look, he out here scorching people. It was Devin Booker's first time. He was out here killing people. If you got a good game, you got a game. I don't want to hear that, oh, it was your first time nonsense. It's at the end of the day, you can't teach that. You gotta have that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And I think that's kind of rough.
It is rough, but it's real. Look at Trae Young.
But you know why? They don't judge it like that. They don't really judge it. They don't judge it like that because you know why? Trae Young, you could say that, cool. Certain things aren't always done that way. You know, Curry didn't even start off that quick. Dudes took a long time. And that's what I said before. When we was talking about Ben Simmons and I was like, Jason Kidd couldn't hit a shot for a long time. Everybody praise him now. It's just that we forget. You know what I'm saying? So and everybody is talking like these dudes should be doing it right away. And it wasn't always like that. And when you do the math and you see, they wasn't judging everybody like that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Right away, they got to do it because Trae Young did it. No, he's just on the faster pace to be like Curry because he saw what Curry did. The bar gets raised because what people are doing. But think about it. Curry took a long time to do that in the league, bro. And nobody seems to remember that. But everybody say he's the best in the league. But look how long it took him. It took Mark Jackson to get over there. Clay, he was not always cooking everything. He was good. But I'm just trying to make a point of the time, and they always let it factor in and give everybody time. Now all of a sudden is, oh, you ain't doing another. I don't think it's like that. And I think one last point is our Knicks, young, quickly, topping, young pieces we have, they're moving faster than a lot of people in the league. And that's what we just got to pay attention to. Don't get caught all up in you know what I mean? Because look, if Randle make his shots or Trae Young miss a few, then the whole thing changes. You feel me? So as close as them games were, you got to watch what you say about, oh, they got to do because it could have went either way. So it's 2 sides to the coin.
Yes, it is 2 sides to the coin.
Can I say this?
Go ahead,
Can I say this about Randle?
I
feel like let fair is fair. Randle averaged 6 assists this year. In the playoffs, you get an assist when the teammate make the shot.
That's
a lot of his teammates wasn't making shots that they was hitting all year long. So his stat line and the game, like he said, a couple plays here and there, his stat line and the games are different if his assists are up. He can only pass the ball. They still got to make the shot.
But Slim, you got to say he got to make his shots too, Slim. He kept shooting. He didn't make.
That's a fact.
So he should pass more than in that game. That's I'm not going to say selfishness, but that would be IQ. because if Obi Toppin is hot, which he was in a couple of those games, he could have kept giving him the ball back. That's how you play basketball. No, he wanted to shoot the ball. Did he make the shot? No. So he has to be responsible for that.
So, and I'm glad that y'all saying that. I'm glad that y'all saying that.
Let him answer that, Stills.
Oh, go ahead, Slim.
Thibodeau needs to take a little bit of critique for that as well, because Thibodeau's the coach. The same way
I agree.
Riley
Stills fought for Toppin to be on the court.
Shooting.
Let him finish. Let him finish. You asked him to finish.
Nah, it's cool. Nah, it's cool.
Go ahead, Slim. Go ahead, Slim.
Thibodeau, Randall was doing what the star player is supposed to do. I'm out here, I'm going to shoot the ball. Because if he wasn't shooting the ball, we'd have been killing him for that too. So he out there, I get it. His IQ could be a little better, but he was out there on the court. The coach is supposed to be like, yo, bro, remember the big 15. The coach is supposed to remind him of that. And it was a lot of failure with the team. The team failed.
It was.
The team.
It was. It definitely was. It definitely was. But, you know, we got to look at it realistically. Like, he's going to demand a lot of money. And another thing that we got to factor in is he even willing or ready to have another alpha dog on the side of him, possibly somebody that's better than him, come in and push him down now to the number 2 or possibly number 3 option? Is he willing?
He's ready. He's trained. He was trained. Remember, he trained under Kobe. He trained under the alpha. So he know what it's like. If Dame was to come here, he would know what he'd have to do. He'd show his belly. He trained under Kobe. You listen to how he talk about Kobe with reverence. He talk about Kobe. He was like, yo, that was big, bro. So he know what it is. He's alpha because ain't no real alpha on the team. You could tell. You could just look at him. You could tell. RJ got more alpha in.
100%. I don't think Julius could be a Batman.
100%.
Yeah, I don't think so. Nah, I don't think so either.
He ain't gonna be able to deal with it, because if that was the case, he would have passed the ball in that situation. He wanted to keep his name up. He wanted to keep going up. I think he should have passed the ball. That proves if somebody else come in, it may change the whole dynamic for him. But he really is a Robin. He's not a Batman. He took too long to excel. We just was talking about that. If dudes is excelling real fast, he took real long. It proves it right there.
So Slim, let me ask you this. The rumor is that Zion isn't happy in New Orleans. His family wants him reportedly out of there. Would you?
I saw that.
Would you move Julius Randle to get Zion Williamson here in New York with RJ Barrett?
Move Julius to get Zion.
That's the only way that it can possibly happen. You got to send him back to New Orleans. He had a good time in New Orleans when he was there.
All right. I got one question before I answer that. Is Zion fully healthy? This is fully healthy Zion. We don't got no nonsense. Healthy Zion.
You getting the Zion that we seen?
All right, you out of here, Julius. You out of here, Julius. Zion about to be Zion. They want Zion to be the face of the league. They're gonna do everything that they can to make Zion the face of the league. Get Zion over here. You get Zion over here, you ain't gotta worry about nobody else coming. Everybody else gonna want to be here, regardless.
So, what you think about that? Oh, well, I see you over there.
I think I would get rid of him too, because if we were just talking about how fast players excel, he's on a way faster rate than Julius Randle. So all you got to do is look at the games, remember what people do, how fast they do it. We just was talking about how fast Trae Young is doing it. He's doing it faster than Curry. So if he keeps that up, but we have to give Curry credit because he's seen it from Curry. You know what I'm saying? Just like when people try to debate LeBron and Jordan, I don't do that. You know why? Because he's seen it from Jordan. That's why he picked this number. Doesn't make sense to do that. Feel me? You can't compare players who he watched and wanted to be like. He's the GOAT because he watched him and he came out here and did that. You know what I mean? So that's my point. Curry is Curry, even though he took longer. Yeah. You know, we got to give Curry some more credit when I say he took longer. You know why? Because you have to take in the fact that the game transcended. It changed. He was able to boogie. When I played, coaches would say you can't dribble that much. You can't do that. But you got to give credit to the N1. You got to give credit to the N1 circuit. And when the internet started, Curry had money and he was able to watch it. And he learned how to do those moves, the N1 circuit, and he brought it in the NBA. But at first, he couldn't get away with it. So that's why it took him so long to really, and the NBA changed. And they started letting people do all of that stuff more and more and more and more. And then, I mean, that's what I think anyway.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's going to be interesting, but let's talk about what it would take, man, to get Lillard here, right? So it's starting with 3. It's starting with 3 number 1 picks. Now, they're going to want something in return as far as some type of promising piece. If it can only be one promising piece that we have with 3 draft picks, what would that piece be to make it happen realistically?
Realistically, Stills, they're not taking one piece.
Who's the most replaceable piece out of the options?
You said Lillard.
The most replaceable piece out of the options.
Like, who are the options? We talking like RJ, Mitch, IQ.
Yeah.
Again, Obi, we throw Obi in there too.
They're gonna want everything.
They're gonna want everything.
Yeah,
we can't.
We can't give them everything. They can't get everything
for Lillard.
They can't.
They can't.
He gonna be a free agent the year after. Like,
exactly.
They can't. That's part of the negotiation. Like, yo, we ain't guaranteed to sign him. We ain't giving y'all everything.
Exactly.
That's where they messed up.
That don't work like that. You know why, Slim? That don't work like that. You know why? Because he said he wanted to go to Utah. So
he said that.
Lillard.
Man,
said that. Listen, he said Utah or the Lakers. So listen, my point is, if he's saying that he don't want to go to the Knicks gonna have to give up whatever they got to give up to get him. That's how they gonna think. I'm just saying, for example, now that's what we up against. We giving up quickly, Toppin.
Nah,
not Obi.
That's what they're gonna want.
Quickly. Give him Mitch.
Nah,
I like Mitch.
Obi is the homegrown draft.
Yeah.
Let's. This the reason why the Knicks made the playoffs. They finally broke the curse. They drafted you trade Obi. We gon' I swear to God, they trade Obi. If they trade Obi before the Heat,
they're not gonna take. They're not gonna
trade Obi ever. But if they trade Obi, they're gonna be cursed for 20 more years.
You want to know why?
Patrick Ewing curse.
You want to know why Obi is not going to be included in the deal? He's not going to be included in the deal because they're going to need to make the money work. So the only way that they can make the money work, it starts with somebody's big contract like Julius Randle. He only has 1 year left, and his money is the closest to Dame Lillard. So they're going to give up probably Randle. They're not giving up Obi and Randle. You know what I mean? Because the Knicks drafted Obi with the thoughts of probably moving on from Randle.
I got a question.
You know what I mean? So they're not giving up both. They're getting rid of one of them, and it'll probably be Julius. Yeah.
If you was in control still, right? And they said today they're gonna give you Dame Lillard for Obi Toppin and Julius Randle and quickly. What are you doing? Right now, they said done deal. Just give me them 3 players for Lillard, and we have a deal right now. What are you doing?
No, because you're depleting our front court.
Yeah. But do you know Damian Lillard completes all those players right now?
Nah, man. You're depleting
the production that they're giving, what he brings to a team.
We can't give up both. Like, let's look back at the Melo. Since we're talking about it, everybody sat here and complained about the Melo deal. So for Carmelo Anthony, let's revisit history.
Right? Same thing, though.
No, it is the same thing because in their prime, and Melo was at the top of his game when the Knicks traded for him. This is what it took to get Melo: Danilo Gallinari, Wilson Chandler, Raymond Felton, Timofey Mozgov, a 2014 first-round pick, and a 2016 pick swap. What do you mean Dame Lillard is better? You crazy? Then Carmelo at that time?
Listen, we was talking earlier about how fast somebody do things. Carmelo came in with a great career. No disses to Melo. But Damian Lillard, oh, man. All right.
Nah.
Okay.
They can't give up. You can't give up Julius Randle and Toppin in no deal. You gotta keep Obi. The Knicks drafted Obi with intentions on moving on from Julius Randle. That's why they drafted him.
That's correct.
That's exactly why they drafted him.
So Randle should be easily traded.
They didn't draft him to trade him. They drafted him for the future.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Julius Randle
agreed.
He wasn't necessarily in their plans. It just so happened that he had a great season last year, and now they feel like they're attached to him a little bit. He built up his trade value. The only way we could bring a Damian Lillard here is because you got to move Julius Randle because of the money and also the talent. And they can also throw in those. They could throw in 3 first-round picks. They could give up both of those Dallas picks, and they could give up one of their future first-round picks, and they'll still have picks moving forward.
You know, I know they'll trade Toppin. Still,
they're not trading him.
I said, you know, I know they will. The way they did him, because for a simple fact, you just said Julius Randle contract is more, but we know that, but they drafted Toppin to replace him because they didn't expect Julius Randle to do what he did. So look, hold on. Let me make the last point. I'm gonna give it right back. Now they in a dilemma now because they believe in Julius Randle. So you don't think they would do that? Okay, that's just my opinion on it. I think they are in a dilemma because Julius Randle had a good season.
Yes,
they think it put some help with him. He's better than Toppin right now.
But what did he do in the postseason? He showed you that he couldn't adjust his game in the postseason. What did I tell you? Obi deserved more minutes because he showed that he was able to move without the ball and score without having to get the ball in his hands.
Okay,
that made him more valuable in that series. And if they played more, the Knicks would have probably did better off against the Hawks. And I said this.
I agree. You did say that.
Was stagnant up top. They give him the ball up top. He would dribble into double and triple teams, and he turned into the same player he was last year. Obi had a better series than him. He shot better than him in less minutes. He was more efficient. Why? Okay. Because he was able to move without the ball.
Okay. Now this is my rebuttal to that. This is my rebuttal to that. Right? Them over there, they're gonna say he got more experience. Should have played him? Yeah, you was right about that because he was hot. They should have kept feeding him. Did Randle give him the ball? He kept shooting. That's what he did, right? Tibbs kept him on the court. Slim said the same thing. Tibbs was in his old ways. He did not change his style. So my point is, Tibbs and them is going to be doing what they think they should do. They're not going to replace Toppin for Randle right now. That's just my take. Unless he kills Randle in preseason or in practice, whatever. But if they come up and they want Toppin in a trade, that means that they'll give Toppin away because they're in a dilemma with the Randle situation. Randle played good. Did he sink in the playoffs? Yeah. But do they think Toppin would have did better in the playoffs and he don't have no experience in the playoffs neither? I don't know. That's my point.
That's true. But I think Randle put a lot of pressure on himself going into the playoffs, knowing that he had to perform at a high level.
Yes.
Because of the season he did have. And
that's a fact. That's a fact, OG.
He just didn't do it.
But he didn't have an IQ and pass the ball. Still said it. Toppin was hot in the corner. He should have kept giving up the ball.
Nah, but I'm not just talking about Obi hitting his outside shot. Obi was very efficient and he scored in the paint. He was moving. He wasn't just hitting jump shots. He was scoring, rolling to the basket.
He was hitting jump shots, Stills. Huh? That's because he was hitting jump shots. Still, then he could drive.
But he was moving without the ball. He didn't need the ball in his hands to score. That's my point. That's why he flourished whenever he was on the court with a Derrick Rose. I
think his brother's coming into next year's draft.
His
Jake brother's coming into the
yeah.
Stills, he hit more threes than those, Stills. And that's giving him more credit because he hit the open shot. Randle had to pass out the double team, taking the fact of what really happened. If somebody's being double teamed, they was leaving him open, Connor, and he was making the three.
Why was he being double teamed?
Randle?
Yeah, why was he being?
Because he averaged 30 points on them.
Sometimes he was being triple teamed and still thought he could take the ball in.
No, exactly.
Yeah,
why was he doing that? Because he was dribbling into double and triple teams. He would start at the top of the key, back into the corner, trap himself. You know the sideline is a defender now. Now you put yourself in a predicament where you're going to turn the ball over because you got two defenders around you, and then the sideline is also a defender now for a turnover. And that's why he had a terrible postseason. He was turning the ball over. He was making bad decisions with the ball, and Thibodeau wasn't putting him in the proper positions for him to be effective.
The same thing I said, bro.
No, but what
he kept shooting.
But back to something Will said about the fuck. I just lost my train of thought because I'm out watching.
This guy. You on Fulton Avenue?
Huh? Nah, I'm around Bushwick Project, so you know I gotta keep my eyes open, B.
All right, okay.
But
so finish your thought. Yeah, Dredge is out of here.
Playoffs, right? Nah, he was talking about Randall not stepping up in the playoffs. Obi stepped up in the playoffs.
He played better in the playoffs than he played in the regular season.
So
that's
for you to say that Obi is used to playing in those kind of arenas and atmosphere anyway.
But everybody. Yeah, but we can't use that as a factor because these guys are NBA players, man. They played in front of large crowds. You know what I mean? The difference is that Obi's game fit more in that series than Julius Randle's game. They let Julius Randle do whatever he did during the regular season. He averaged 30-something points towards them. Nate McMillan made sure he took our number one option out during the playoff. And Thibodeau didn't adjust, and Julius Randle didn't know how to adjust his game. Why? Because he needs the ball in his hand, and let's keep it a buck. He made a lot of bad shots this year. He made a lot of bad shots. Huh?
You wouldn't have took him out.
No, I mean, at the end of the day, it's politics. This is why.
That's what I'm trying to say. He said the same thing. Slim said the same thing. He stuck with his ways, but Julius got us there. And you can't say replace him with Toppin, really. And we fought about that before, but I said you was right. You know why I said you was right? Because Toppin made his shots. You can't deny what he really did. But what they did was what got them there. And you can't argue what they did neither. And when people say they're going to make better decisions than Tibbs, it's like, okay, that's just your opinion at the moment. But be realistic. What should have happened was if he had a better IQ, if he was a better player, that's why we all said we would trade him for Zion. He would have passed the ball when he had three people on him. That's what makes a good player. You see, he had three people. I heard somebody else say that. That means that somebody else should have got the ball. Bullock hit threes. Other people was hot. Yes. So he lost that. He lost. He was forcing his hand.
He had three players on him, but yet he still dribbled into double and triple teams. So that just shows you that his basketball IQ isn't where it needs to be because the definition of insanity is doing something over and over and over again. Did it over and over and over again, which leads me to the point on why I will part ways with him before I get rid of Obi Toppin. That's my point.
I agree because Obi's younger.
Obi's younger. He was brought here to replace him in the first place. And if he had a full season under his belt where he got consistent minutes, he would have flourished even more. And if you look at it,
remember they never had no training camp or nothing.
Exactly. So if
I think it's trade bait with both of them.
They're not going to get rid of both. They're going to get rid of
No. I'm saying it's trade bait for both of them. If I understand what you're saying, because. And I was trying to make that point. It's a fight now between Randall and Toppin, even though they're going to go with Randall because Randall got more experience. But it's an upside for Toppin because he's so young. At the same time, I think that when you look at Randall's IQ and he didn't pass the ball the right way, if you just brought it up earlier about Trae Young, it's young guys making the right decision. Randall been in the league for a long time. That's just how I'm looking at it. He maybe he wasn't ready for the stage though. You got to look at that too. He killed through the regular season, so next year maybe he'll kill again. That's what the Knicks management and higher ups are going to look at it like. That's their experience on the line.
He was making it. Shout out to Jamal. Shout out to my brother. He said
another thing we gotta tell. Are they gonna pay him the money that he wants?
That's
that is where I'm going with that.
Yes.
Does he deserve the money that he's supposed to?
No.
Thank you. I don't think so either.
So he's gone. He's gone. They're not investing Supermax money in him.
Still, I never heard you say you wanted to trade Randall. This is the first episode I ever heard you say that.
Only for Lillard. He said only for Lillard. Only for Lillard.
No. I also said last week for Zion too. We can send.
Yeah, he said for Zion.
That was last week. I said that. So no, it ain't the first time. I'm just being realistic.
You're right.
That's what I'm saying. Is he the right starter? Knicks think that Julius Randle is a great player because he can handle adversity here in New York. But at the end of the day, we want to win. I don't want to go in the playoffs and do. What he started doing was he started reading those headlines and he started believing the hype. And he started for real. He started.
No, somebody else said it. It's true. I think OG said it. OG said he had to live up to his name that what he did through regular season. That's true. Yeah. That was a great point.
Yeah, he started believing the hype, and he played right into Atlanta's hands. He's like, oh, he was the first one talking. Yeah, we come back. We'll make the adjustment. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't happen. And it was all in his head. He didn't have a good game. That
but
whole
be honest, we didn't have enough firepower, or Tibbs didn't think we did. You know why? Because Derrick Rose was scoring all them points. He was too old, and they took Peyton out of the lineup. That took us another guard off. So we didn't have enough firepower. We didn't stick to what got us there. And at first, I just wanted Peyton out. But like I say, I think of things after the fact. It was about depth. We didn't have enough. And when he was gone, it changed the dynamic. Whatever he was doing, it was needed. It wasn't.
Whose fault was that? That was Tibbs. And I told
Tibbs.
Once he made the commitment to put Derrick Rose in the starting lineup, he depleted the team's bench productivity and he messed up the chemistry in the starting lineup by starting Derrick Go.
So why Peyton couldn't produce off the bench then? That always was my question. If we NBA professionals and we make an adjustment.
Go ahead, Slim.
My fault. I ain't mean to interrupt. I was just saying, why didn't he plug Frank? He could have plugged Frank in that spot. I still don't understand why he didn't give Frank a shot.
Said, oh God. No, my point is, Slim, if I take you out the starting lineup, Slim, and I put Rose in, right? We all professionals, right? Why you can't come off the bench and still produce? I understand you saying Frank, but everybody was fighting for Peyton.
He was pouting.
I felt like Peyton couldn't come in off the bench.
Pouting. He was pouting. We are less than 1,000 right now. We watched the games. He was pouting. I seen him pouting. I seen him sitting on that back row behind.
That's not professional.
Sitting there. It's not professional. He's a powder. He did the shit last year.
Yeah.
He did that last year.
We don't need that.
And his mom's was on Twitter going crazy.
Yeah, on Twitter talking about, how'd that work out for you?
Give credit to Noel. Noel didn't do that. Noel waited for his turn, starter or not. You got to think about that. It's like this in the NBA. That's how it is.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, some guys are better off as strong professionals than others, man. Some guys are built for it. Other guys
not that good. He's not that good to do that.
Fine. But you know why he felt that way? Because at the end of the day, man, the team made it to where they was because he was in the starting lineup. They dealt with all his flaws throughout the season. You don't change that now in the playoffs because you feel like Derrick Rose is going to give your team a better chance to win. When he gave your team a better chance to win, coming off the bench, helping young guys like IQ and Toppin now. They played well with him.
Nah, I told you why he did that.
Yeah,
this guy was scoring 30 points and Peyton could not score. Rose came in and had good points. So if you can't stop a person like Trae Young, you have to have offense to go back, combat against it. Peyton couldn't stop him or score. That's called the coach's adjustment. That is correct.
And he kept starting Peyton. I couldn't understand that.
Yeah, that's why he was right to take him out the lineup. It was Peyton's fault for not coming off the bench and doing nothing.
Right.
They won 40 games starting Elfrid Payton.
It wasn't the playoffs.
It doesn't matter. They would have never.
What? The playoffs is magnified.
They would have never got to the playoffs.
Stills, why you gonna say it don't matter?
Because it wouldn't have mattered if he wasn't playing during the regular season.
Stills, you got people who sit out all year for the playoffs. Look at Brooklyn. It does matter, Stills.
How did that work for Brooklyn? It
does matter, Stills. You lose 2 games in a row, you're out of it. How you gonna say that? Payton did not show up for 2 games in a row. OG just said it. He don't know why he kept him in. Rose had to come in because look, Trae Young was scoring a lot of points and we couldn't stop him. So we had to put more points on the board. Derrick Rose was hot. That was not a bad move. The bad move was Payton could not come off the bench and we couldn't replace the depth that Rose was giving us off the bench. That's the only point that you had. Yes. You can't blame Tibbs for making the adjustment. Bottom line, I said that 3 episodes ago. It's still a fact today.
Hold on, though. Well, wait. In the point you just made, you just showed how Tibbs he could have made a further adjustment.
Exactly.
Plug somebody else.
No, don't say Frank Nikita. Please don't. You said Frank 2 minutes ago.
Okay.
That ain't nobody else there. See, hold on, Slim. Hold on, Slim. Hold on. The reason why I'm not trying to help Tibbs. The reason why nothing else could be done, it was nothing else there. Bro, Frank came in at the end of the game. That was a bad move. He was on skates. He should have never seen another minute of his life on the Knicks.
Hold on.
Go ahead, Slim.
We all right. So let's talk real basketball.
Let's go.
You come in at the end of the half for 6 seconds. What you doing?
Nothing.
What you doing?
Nothing.
When you come in a half for 6 seconds, what you really doing?
Nothing.
How much are you really affecting the game for 6 seconds?
Okay, can I ask you a question, Slim? Why was he in that position in the first place, Slim?
Hold up. I didn't make the point yet. Hold up.
You don't have to. Why was he in that position in the first place?
Let him finish, Will.
I hear what you're saying about Frank. I hear what you're saying about Frank. But you just said Payton did nothing for 2 games. Why Frank don't get an opportunity to do nothing for 2 minutes? Frank done show. Yo, you forgot what Frank did before?
He did. Hold on, you wrong. You wrong already because he put him in the game to try to stop. Hold on, I'm a kid. Hold on, I got a great point for you.
6 seconds.
No, it don't matter. Hold on. Stills. What do they consider Frank Nikita as a stopper, right? If you come in the game, with 6 seconds, you're supposed to play better D than that. Frank Nikita went right, and he went right, and Taj Gibson was already right in the middle. Frank Nikita was supposed to stay right there on Trae Young. Anybody would have played better D on Trae Young than Frank Nikita. I don't want to hear Frank.
All right, so I'm about to mute some mic.
Listen, all the guards that started the game couldn't hold Trae. What you think the dude coming in cold for 6 seconds gonna do? What Tibbs should have did, start him the second half. Let him, run. You got 6 fouls. Use them all on Trae. Right. Coaching adjustment. If you going to take Payton out, you replace Payton with another defender. Don't replace Payton with your number 2 guard, which is Rose, which depletes your second unit, which now affects IQ and everybody else.
Yes.
Trae Young was the reincarnation of Steph Curry. The way he was taking them threes, he was the reincarnation of Steph.
Listen. It's not like Frank didn't have a chance to guard Trae in past seasons. We seen Frank guard Trae before. That's why everybody was saying give him a chance. 6 seconds ain't no chance. You know that's not no chance.
Yeah, that's not
6 seconds on a dude that's hitting floaters and hot. Come on, he bowing, throwing kisses to the crowd. He hot. All Tibbs did was set Frank up for failure on that one. I'm not going to defend Frank and say Frank don't got his flaws. Hell yeah. He hesitates too much. He grab the ball, pass it to the forward, go stand in the corner. I hear all that. But give him a legit chance to stop Trae. 6 seconds ain't a legit chance. I'm going to shut up. That's it.
Go ahead, Will.
Okay. All he kept saying was guard. I said, Stills, we know Frank only is somebody that could guard somebody. If you can't stop me for 6 seconds, you ain't never going to stop me. The proof is this. Trae Young continued to do that.
Hold on, Will. All right. Now, that's not fair. Like he said, he didn't play the whole game.
Let me make my point now, though. Hold on. If you hear me out, then you're going to understand me clearer. I said Trae Young continued to do that. He did that on Ben Simmons, on somebody that was going to be one of the Defensive Player of the Year award. So let's keep it real. Trae Young would have really bodied Frank Nikita, honestly speaking, because of the simple fact that Frank Nikita got himself where he was on that team. He ain't getting no minutes. So you think he gonna come off the bench and stop Trae Young, who went and bodied somebody who was getting a whole lot of minutes? So y'all dudes acting like y'all don't understand why we watch the game.
We didn't say body. I never said body.
No. Hold on. We talking about somebody that's supposed to come in and produce, and he's not gonna do that. That's why I said we had nobody else. The best bet we had was putting Burks in as the point guard.
But you basing it off of 6 seconds of information.
No, I'm not.
You
Slim,
said,
let me finish.
You said it already.
No, you didn't let me finish. I'm basing it on.
Wait. What's the information of Frank against Trae that you basing it on other than those 6 seconds? Because anytime you've seen Frank against Trae in past seasons, he held them better than most people would. That's not an opinion.
All right, now I'm gonna answer you now. Just like Julius Randle averaged 35 against Atlanta in the regular season, right? So even if you said Frank Nikita played in the regular season and held Trae Young, that's not true. Trae Young was injured. So to be clear with you, Frank Nikita was not getting no run on the Knicks.
He's been in the league for 4 years. They've been in the league together 4 years, bro.
Yeah, and that's even worse.
It's plenty of footage.
Hold on, now you got to mute his mic so I can answer.
How?
Frank Nikita been in the league 4 years. That's another point I have. He has not did anything for 4 years since Phil Jackson drafted him. So what are we believing in him for? If we're going to put him in the game to stop somebody and we need offense at the time, that's pretty bad if you ask me. Now, I do agree with Slim. We didn't give him a fair chance, giving him 6 seconds or whatever that was, but that's because he never did anything. It goes based upon, just like Knox didn't do anything. They're playing the players who do something in practice and do something in the game. Whenever you get in the game, if you play ball or you watch ball, it's not just,
I don't
only reason why Frank got in the game was because Peyton wasn't playing good and he only got in the game for 6 seconds. So that has to tell you something because, hold on, last point is Tibbs seen way more than what we saw. Do you agree, OG, that Tibbs saw way more than what we saw with Frank Nikita?
I agree.
Thank you. So I don't know why these dudes is trying to force a Frank Nikita. I would send Frank Nikita ass out of here yesterday.
And his name is Ntilikina. Frank Ntilikina.
Y'all got me saying his name wrong.
What did Tibbs see in Peyton all season? If he saw more with Frank to sit him,
Peyton had a good regular season, I can honestly say.
So this is the point I'm trying to make. You saying, he didn't play Frank because Frank couldn't. Maybe he didn't play Frank and a few other people because Tibbs cut his minutes like he normally does when he makes his playoff rotation. 6 or 7 players, and they're going to maximize their minutes.
Frank didn't play regular season. Frank didn't play regular season.
So
what are you talking about?
Hurt a lot the regular season. Too.
Frank did not play. That means hold on. If Frank didn't play, that means if Peyton played, that means Peyton outplayed Frank. So that means Frank is on his way to the G League. You know that?
And shout out to Robert Paul. And it's something.
Do you know if Peyton started, that means Peyton outplayed Frank. Hold on. Paul will know the game, bro. Hold on. If I'm a coach and Peyton starts on the team.
So here's something that I think that both of y'all missed out on, right? If y'all looked in that last game where the Knicks lost to go home, you've seen a lot more of Emmanuel quickly on the floor, playing the one and guarding Trae Young and trying to put pressure on Trae Young on the offensive end of the floor. And I think that's where Tibbs missed the golden opportunity because Quickly also defends, but he didn't give him enough playing time.
I agree. Now, I said, I was telling my nephew that. I said, why doesn't he got Emmanuel Quickly on Trae Young? Why is he putting? I'm like, come on.
Yeah, going with experience.
You don't play rookies.
But at the end of the day,
you don't play rookies.
Exactly, and that's and this was Slim started out with. Tibbs showed some of his bad habits. He had rookies that was capable of making an impact, but he didn't go with them because he was stubborn. You know what I mean? Make no mistake about it. Derrick Rose played a hell of a series for us. But then he broke down at the end like everybody thought he would because he was playing too many minutes.
Right. There you go.
He didn't use quickly well enough in that series because I think that if he used quickly well enough, he wouldn't have to worry about bringing Frank in the game. Because like both of y'all are saying, Frank hardly played during the regular season, and it didn't make any sense to put him in for 6 seconds either. Why would you do that? That's not good enough time for a person sitting on the bench all day to be asked to come in and guard somebody that's been cooking for 38 minutes in a game and ask him to come in and make a miracle to stop this dude on the last play. That was
Derrick Rose would have played him better.
Nah, Derrick Rose is getting cooked the whole series.
No, but I said it before that.
He was cooking. He was cooking.
I know that. I said it before those steals. He was cooking them, but I said that a veteran or a more experienced player for that last stop, they would have did better than somebody cold. Frank was cold. So all I'm saying is a veteran on the last play of the game, he's smarter, his IQ would have played better than Frank. Taj Gibson was in the middle of the court. Yeah. All he had to do was stay left and in front of him and give him a tough shot. He faked them left and went right. Or my bad. Yeah, he faked them left and went right. Taj was left in the middle to help him if he would have went that way.
And Clyde was telling him, don't let him go to that. Don't let him go to that. He kept saying it.
Don't let him go.
He said it about 3 times.
But the fact is that Tibbs didn't utilize the pieces that he had properly. Because I think that if he played quickly more in the series, Quickly's confidence would have been up. Because look at that last game. He was the only one effective. From the back.
They burned Derrick Rose out.
Derrick Rose out, and then that was it. Once you put him in the starting lineup, that was over. The series was over after that.
Right, because who you had to come in to replace him?
Nobody.
That's right.
Nobody. You burnt them out. You didn't utilize. You didn't have enough faith in your young players. And at the end of the day, Frank, I would have kept Frank on the bench because at the end of the day, it's been 4 years. He hasn't done anything.
Exactly.
Phil Jackson ruined us.
Or Alec Burks could have moved to the guard.
Him and Peyton would be a good trade package with somebody else to another team.
Nobody don't want them.
Nah, Peyton a free agent.
Be realistic.
Yeah, Peyton a free agent anyway.
Peyton is a free agent anyway. But who's taking Frank though? Like ain't nobody taking Frank.
He's a throw-in.
So what we think about this Luka cat, this Luka guard from Spain or wherever he from?
I like
Vildoza.
Yeah, the kid that they got in mid-season from overseas.
I've seen his highlights. His highlights kind of crazy.
I heard about it.
That's World Wild West working right now. They did their homework.
That's a West situation.
Of course, all right. You got some.
They said he's a shooter. He's
one.
He a facilitator. He's more facilitator.
Yeah, he's a facilitator. Now
he can't shoot, but he got some shake to him.
Yes, he got a little handle. He got a little jump shot. He got a little razzle dazzle. But they're trying to compare him to Luka Doncic because they both played in the same Spanish league and their numbers are eerily similar.
Stop.
No. But this is what they're trying to do. I know, Slim. I know.
Luka was doing it at 16. Homeboy like 23, 24. You know what I'm saying? That's a big difference, yo.
Word up.
Shit, Luka ain't 23 yet, right? He's like 21.
Nah, he's 21, 22.
21.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, baby. He a baby.
Yeah, he's still a baby, man. But yeah, man, Tibbs got exposed. I don't think he used quickly enough in that series. And it is what it is. But Atlanta showed that they wasn't no slouches because they went and beat Philly next. So, you know.
They had more experience than us. And I don't think we can't really blame Tibbs. We didn't have enough pieces if he took Peyton out too. So I know we blaming him for not like taking maybe Randall out the lineup. Like, but that's kind of hard to say too. But we didn't have enough pieces. That's what I think.
Down the stretch, we didn't.
You can't really blame Tibbs for that.
And guys like
Randall ain't making shots.
Yeah,
Robinson was hurt.
Yeah, but that's the problem too. That's why I would part ways with Mitchell Robinson too. So when we go back to that Portland scenario to get Dame Lillard, I'm adding Mitchell Robinson to that mix. I'm sorry. I'm adding him. Robinson. I'm bringing in.
I wanted to say this
DeAndre Jordan for the low. I'm bringing in DeAndre Jordan. I mean, not DeAndre Jordan.
They already had Jordan. They got rid of him.
No. Andre Drummond. I'm bringing in Andre Drummond for the low Because right now,
do we want Andre Drummond though? He's a great rebounder. He don't play no.
He clogging the middle, bro. That's all he doing. We got too many players that want to go in. He clogging the middle. He can't hit the three.
You don't know about that?
Yeah, that's not a good pick.
I agree with you. He clogged the middle up. He
can't hit the three.
That's the thing.
And I'm gonna keep it real with you. Taj Gibson or Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson, he ain't getting a three, but they scared to come in there on him.
He's foul. He's a foul magnet, man. He's not.
So is Drummond.
He was better before he got hurt, though. Yeah.
In the playoffs, can y'all imagine the playoffs when everything intensified?
He missed this playoffs too, so he didn't get this experience. So that's kind of bad.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And he's injury prone. You know what I mean? First it was his hand, now it's his ankle.
You might be right about him.
For real,
you might be right. He's injury. He has too many injuries.
Have to sell high.
But look, speaking of injuries, your boy Kawhi Leonard, you wanted to bring over here. I don't want him because his knee is done.
No Kawhi. Yeah. It's a wrap for Kawhi. He's gonna have knee injuries for the rest of his career. Sorry,
and I'm not gonna pay him the money. I'm not gonna pay him the money for being injured like that.
I meant to tell you that, Stills. Last we was talking about bringing Kawhi. Please, no.
Yeah. This was before the injury. Yeah, I definitely.
No, it wasn't before the injury.
I was thinking
before the injury report came back, and I said that nigga ain't coming back all year.
It's looking bad for Kawhi, yo.
When the nigga said he ain't coming back all year, nigga said, "Whoa."
Because it was a non-contact, right? Nobody hit him. He just landed.
Yeah,
it's a wrap. When your shit start doing that, it's a wrap.
He started doing that dance that we used to do with our knee. Remember we used to do that shit? He hopped off to the bench with that knee dance. I said no.
But I mean.
I take Devin Booker in 2 years though. Devin Booker free agent the year after next. I
don't think he's leaving Phoenix now, man.
Staying in Phoenix, man.
Yeah, they staying in Phoenix.
Hold on. What if they get that chip? They get that chip, hold the ball game. They ain't got to chase a championship no more. Come to New York.
But they kings in Phoenix. They scared of New York.
But that's saying like you a king in jail, like Phoenix.
Now look, you know why nobody want to come to New York right now? Think about this, y'all.
Because y'all
Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving is still across the bridge. So they're going to be scared of them.
Nah.
LeBron and them is older. Anthony Davis is hurt. So if Phoenix is reigning in the West, ain't nobody running to the East. If they do, they got to go against them dudes. Let's keep it real. Dudes going to stay in the West. So nobody thought about that yet. We ain't talking about that. We're going to have to talk about that next show.
It's a fact. Kyrie get hurt every year. Yes or
no?
Yes.
The past 3 or 4 years,
next year he won't get hurt.
Harden has been hurt every year.
They can forget about getting any more big contracts. Him, Kawhi, they can forget about it. Brooklyn
gonna pay them.
Hey, yo.
So let me ask y'all a question.
But I'm saying after this they could forget about getting another big contract.
They the best in the league, man. They gonna pay them.
But the players pay attention to certain things. You heard how loud the Garden was for our playoff game. Players wasn't sounding like that.
Let's keep
it real.
Kevin Durant had 50. Like that's all they gonna be thinking about.
And I seen dudes in the front row at Barclays chilling, like sitting down, chilling.
Slim.
50.
You know what they gonna be thinking? If Kyrie wasn't hurt, or if Harden come back, even if Kyrie hurt and Harden come back 85% and Durant is where he was, I ain't going against that juggernaut. That's what them niggas gonna be thinking.
But the thing is, but Brooklyn,
Kyrie might want to go get a haircut. He might want to go get a haircut for.
No, that's why I said, Slim. If Kyrie not even there, Harden and Durant alone could win that whole East by themselves.
Brooklyn should have won. Brooklyn should have won this series against Milwaukee.
That's a fact. But Harden was hurt.
They should have.
Harden was hurt.
But even with Harden hurt, that last game, that game 7, Brooklyn should have won it.
So let me ask y'all a question.
You're trying to say, okay, go ahead.
Let me ask y'all a question. Now, Washington obviously has to break up what they got going on. Russell Westbrook.
No. We don't need
Russell Westbrook.
No.
I take him on the Knicks.
Why? Talk about it,
Why? It's going to cost you too much money, And I think Westbrook, he's done, man. He's done. He's done. He's done.
Oh, your uncle, wow. Your uncle.
You know who I would take? You know who I would take on Knicks before him?
Who?
Bradley Beal. I'll take him.
I'll take
Bradley Beal before I take him.
They both played great. Bradley Beal wouldn't have had that much of a season if it wasn't for Westbrook.
So that means that y'all willing to give it an
You know why, OG, you know why? Because the attention that Westbrook draws got Beal most of his shots, and Westbrook passes the ball.
Yeah.
And if Westbrook don't score no points, he's going to rebound.
Yeah, you need that. The Knicks need that.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, but they're going to have to pay a lot
in the playoffs with Westbrook. If the Knicks had Westbrook this year, we still playing, right?
Yes, indeed.
That's a fact.
100%.
That's a fact, Slim.
Yeah, we had him with Randall. Yeah, I think we would still be.
You know why? Because Westbrook would have won that nigga Randall face. Yo, what you doing, son?
Now, hold up. That's what I like about Westbrook.
Yes.
He will get in somebody's face.
He's New York.
I don't understand why these guys don't tell it.
He's a leader.
Say it again, huh?
I don't understand why these guys don't get in each other's faces when they doing something crazy.
Cause they soft, man. These players are soft,
man.
It's different players. It's different players nowadays.
Yeah. But I would definitely roll the dice on Westbrook. Don't get me wrong. He got a lot of money on his contract, but he's a Thibodeau type of player, man.
Yes.
He's a Thibodeau player.
It's only 2 years. He only got 2 years left. We could deal with Westbrook for 2 years.
That's a fact. I could deal with him for 2 years. I would definitely draft somebody this year. I like that kid out of Baylor, the point guard. I would draft him, groom him, and run with Westbrook. If we can keep Julius Randle and get Westbrook or Bill, I'm comfortable with that, man. Because I think that all we need is a point guard, man. We didn't have that.
That's what we need.
Yeah, we need a point guard.
Westbrook is a great point guard.
A point guard and some shooters.
Yeah, I agree. But I think he's gonna cost too much.
Yes, he
not
will.
Only for 2 years though.
It's 80-something million that he'll be owed for 2 years. Because he's getting 40
every dime of it.
He does. He plays hard.
Yeah,
and he came back to the industry. He
plays way harder than Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal to me is a great scorer, but he's lazy. I think this year he had more energy because of Westbrook. When you on a court with somebody like that, what he brings, it makes you want to play harder. And nobody's giving Westbrook credit for what Bradley Beal did, but they should. Because if I'm on the court with him, I see what he's doing. I'm bringing it, and he's passing me the ball, and we're winning. They came out, man. Them dudes had a hell of a season, man.
Who? Them two or the team? Because the team did nothing.
No, you got to remember the team did decent too. Look at their stats because of Westbrook. We talking about Westbrook. If Westbrook's not on that team is horrible. One person could change that dynamic, and the Knicks did great. So if you add him to our dynamic, we do even better. Yeah, Slim just said it. We're still playing with Westbrook. That's like saying the same thing.
We have to upgrade our talent at the shoot as far as shooters are concerned, because you know what I mean. They didn't knock down a lot of open shot, and that's what killed us during the playoffs. They had guys that didn't make shots, man. A lot of guys. Reggie Bullock wasn't great in the playoffs.
So who's our starting two next year? Who's our starting two next year?
That remains to be seen. That remains to be seen.
And I'm glad of that.
I don't think that he's on this team yet. But they need some knockdown shooters.
Okay.
They need some knockdown shooters, man.
They sure do. You ain't got none on the Knicks. You ain't got none. No, you ain't got no knockdown shooters on the Knicks.
The last pure shooter that we had was Steve Novak.
Novak.
Oh yeah, the white boy. Yeah, the white boy. Yeah.
After that,
he was a 3-point specialist.
Yes, we don't have any of those.
He was like that
kid. We keep Derrick Rose.
He was like that kid Colbert.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Do you think we should keep Derrick Rose?
I think that they're gonna keep Derrick Rose because
you gotta keep him. You gotta keep him because he's inexpensive and he helps your team.
He did a hell of a job too.
He's helping the
Tibbs favorite.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Tibbs favorite.
Yeah.
And all of that means something with Tibbs. So let's always take that into fact.
And he got playoff experience.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
Taj too. Taj Gibson is a keeper too. You got to keep some veterans.
Yeah, Taj is gonna be the new. He's gonna be the new Lance Thomas. He's gonna be here for the next few years.
That's a fact. That's a fact. You got to
shout out to Taj. He did a great job.
We got more Brooklyn dudes for the Knicks than the Nets do. Say that.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. That's a fact, man. Word. So, fellas, man, this has been real, man. I appreciate y'all coming on. We can do this every week, man. I like that. You gotta come on more often, man.
Let's go.
Get some of that energy on here. You know what I'm saying? We do this every Monday, 10 to 11, man. Bars and Hoops Radio, Knicks Talk Nation Radio. Me and Hard Will, man. Slim, you already know you can come back anytime, bro. We gotta get you back to the new.
I see y'all next Monday.
I like to talk about them. I'd like to talk about them racist Jets.
Oh boy! Well, listen. That's a Sunday. That's a Sunday show. We do the show on Sundays too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, real, man. They're pure D racists. Yes. I watched them this year.
Shout out G-Man. Hey man, G-Man for life. We see you, bro.
They didn't even consider our boy Justin
Fields. Shout out
Fields.
for the Love of the Game podcast.
Yes. They didn't even consider him. And I'm saying to myself, how you not consider Justin Fields over Zach Wilson?
Oh, God.
I'm saying to myself, what the heck?
Yeah, that's a Sunday show. We got to get on there Sunday.
I got a secret for you. I'm a Giant fan, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Too.
I can't talk to you about them Jets.
Me too, G-Man.
Their Achilles heel is Daniel Jones.
Oh, that remains to be seen, you know what I'm saying? But let's
That's a negative. That's a negative.
Yeah, we can tap
Jets fan ain't allowed to talk about the Giants quarterback. That don't happen.
Yo, but fellas, man, it's been real, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Shout out to Hard Will. Shout out to Good Time Slim. Shout out to man in the building. We're going to definitely talk more next week. And like I said, if y'all want to chop it up.
Shout out to Stills.
We're going to do it, man. Shout out to Hard Will, man.
Shout out to
Word
Stills.
up, man. So y'all know how we do it, man. Until next week, man. Knicks Talk Nation, Bars and Hoops Radio, every Monday, 10 to 11 p.m.
That's how many shows he got.
Yeah, in fact, we got 14. We got 14 of these. We got about 100 and some other shows. Boy,
word
man.
up.
Make sure y'all
Sunday.
Next week, man.
This your best show on Monday. Knicks Talk Nation Radio. You heard?
Word up, man. On that note, we
Knicks tape.
Peace.
Peace.
New York City. We back. The Big Apple. NY. The Knicks are back. Staten Mellow. This dedicated to my city, New York. Official kings in the court. Reach with a ball, a hard lesson gets taught. So bring your skills to the nearest playground. No clown around. Catch a helmet in a minute on a New York playground. The Big Apple's what they call it for short. And basketball is our sport. We play for keeps and never settle for short. So bring your game when you come to my town. We snatching crowds. You get embarrassed on the court after you shook to the ground. You get respected when you prove you get down. So say the joke for the clowns. And NYC, we known to go a few rounds. This is the city where you're forced to go hard. You'll get booed out of Dodge and shown the door being the weakest on squads. Rucker Park and summer nights, they stay live. Brothers play for the pride and bragging rights on who's the king of NY. So grab the pill and prepare to go hard. Pick your 12-man squad. Orange and blue, better believe we go hard. This for my city, New York, New York City where it's gritty. Yeah. For my city, never pretty. New York City, sing it with me. Yeah. For my city, New York City where it's gritty. NYC, for my city, never pretty. Yeah. New York City.